Let's try something. Imagine I tell you flip this coin and there's a risk it could kill you. Would you flip it? Probably not. And yet, that's exactly what we do every single day. Turns out, we don't fear slow risks, we fear dramatic ones. The ones that explode. Recently, I visited Delhi. The AQI had crossed every possible scale. The sky looked like a sepia filter. But what caught my eye wasn't the smog. It was the people. Almost no one was wearing a mask. And that made me wonder, I get people don't care for other people sometimes, but do they not care for themselves anymore? This happens every winter. This is not new. How has this become normal? And what happened to the survival instinct? And then I realized this isn't just about air. This is a pattern. People on bikes without helmets, rear seat passenger without seatbelts, front seat passenger without seatbelts, eating badly, never exercising. And this isn't just the uneducated people. This is across income, class, degrees. So what is this? Is this indifference, ignorance, overconfidence, or is this something deeper? This reminds me of a famous experiment. Actors standing in an elevator facing the back wall. A real person walks in and initially they're confused, but slowly, quietly they turn too. Not because someone had asked them to, but just because the crowd did. That's what we all do. On the roads, online, in society, we mirror, even when the direction is wrong. When more people stop asking questions, the abnormal becomes the normal. The smog becomes the scenery. When I ask people why they don't act, they give different answers, but it collapses to 4 real reasons. 1. The danger doesn't feel like danger. Pollution doesn't stab you. Skipping a helmet or seatbelt doesn't hurt you today. Unhealthy habits take years to show consequences. So quietly, the brain makes a deal that if nothing happened to me yesterday, nothing will happen to me today. Over time, this stops becoming a choice and becomes a routine. 2. The social cost feels higher than the survival cost. People don't say it, but inside it's this. If I wear a mask, I look stupid, scared. Helmet looks uncool. Log kya kahenge? The fear of embarrassment beats the fear of harm. We choose comfort in the moment over long-term survival. 3. Learned helplessness. Pollution तो हमेशा ही रहेगा, सिस्टम ही खराब है, घर में भी मर सकते हो, कहाँ तक बचोगे? When people feel nothing they do matters, they stop trying. Not because they don't care, but because trying feels pointless. 4. Diffusion of responsibility. Government should fix it. Educated people should know better. India में civic sense है ही नहीं. Everyone waits for someone else and nobody acts. Slowly, the responsibility dissolves into the crowd. Now we are individuals, but we start behaving quite differently when we become part of a group or a crowd. There was this interesting experiment. A few people are invited into a small room. They are asked to fill out some forms, nothing unusual. A few minutes later, smoke starts to seep in from under the door. Not a dramatic smoke, just a slow, quiet cloud creeping across the floor. When someone is alone in that room, they almost always stand up, open the door and call someone. But when they are sitting in a group and everyone is writing, pretending nothing is happening, something strange occurs. People look at the smoke, look at each other, and look back at their paper, and they stay as if nothing is happening. Uncomfortable waiting. 9 out of 10 choose silence over action. This is called bystander effect. Not because they did not see the danger, but because they were waiting for permission to react. They trusted the group more than their own senses. To question the status quo, you need one essential skill: critical thinking. But here's the problem. Most of us were never really trained for that. In Indian education system especially, rote learning has been the norm. We memorize, reproduce, we score. But questioning, challenging, thinking critically, that often isn't encouraged. From a young age, we are taught not to question our elders, teachers, bosses. Curiosity is sometimes seen as disrespect. Speed gets rewarded, obedience feels right, and slowly curiosity is replaced with compliance. So maybe the problem isn't that people lack intelligence, maybe they were never shaped to pause, challenge, and examine what feels normal. Maybe they are conditioned this way. So who's responsible here? It's easy to point fingers: the government, the system, the culture. And yes, they are part of the problem. Rules are weak, enforcement is uneven, awareness is poor. But governments don't appear out of thin air. They mirror the people who vote, tolerate, demand, or ignore. A system only moves when people push it, and people only push what they truly care about, which is why slow, invisible dangers rarely become political priorities. So if we are waiting for the systems to warn us loudly about these risks, we might be waiting for a long time. But this doesn't mean it's all on them, and it doesn't mean it's all on you either. It's shared. Because systems follow people, people follow crowds. Crowds follow a few individuals who choose differently. That's how the change actually starts. You have probably agreed with a lot of this, thinking of people who do these things. But if you haven't yet asked, where do I fit in this? Then that's blind spot bias. Bias hides best in people who believe they see clearly. And all of us, including me, have our own version of this. Not just on the roads, not with pollution, but in how we live, how we react, how we avoid noticing. That question, where I fit in this, is the start of reflection, curiosity, questioning. Why do I do that? Why do I keep doing that? It's not philosophy, it's not self-help. It's just noticing yourself, and honestly, that saves us from a lot of trouble. Without reflection in this unpredictable, competitive, exhausting world, we run on autopilot, copying the crowd, ignoring slow danger, repeating the pattern that we never chose. But the results land on us, and that makes awareness our responsibility. If you're tired of blaming and tired of not seeing any change, then the question comes, what can you actually control? Not the whole system, not the whole country, just a small space. Today, this month, this year. And for that, I'll leave a few ideas at the end of this video. Few things that might live inside your reach. Not instructions, just options. Take what fits. The real danger isn't that people aren't aware, it's that they think they are. Delhi felt like a mirror to me. I hope in some way it become one for you too. So before we rush to fix the world, here are 3 questions worth sitting with once in a while. What am I not seeing because it feels too familiar? What am I ignoring because everyone else ignores it? What am I doing that I would criticize in someone else? These questions aren't comfortable, they are not meant to be, but they're honest. And sometimes one honest moment of noticing is enough to interrupt a lifetime of autopilot. Everything else can follow if it wants.